title is The Reindustrialisation of the South African Economy and the Development of Black Industrialists. Promises no doubt to be a very full, exciting, challenging, thought-provoking debate, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to end up that way. So without further ado, please let me welcome Mr. Maurice Rodebe.
The point is, we had a vibrant industry in South Africa. And it's much of it now is disappearing, and this is scary. We want to focus on the National Development Plan, and the Minister is going to speak a lot about that, particularly the IPAD. And we know our industry, and I've said this before, has been a pit-to-port economic model where we just extracted the minerals and send them away, and then we import them again as finished goods. We need to really get the strong industrial base in the manufacturing sector. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Deputy Minister to come and give us a keynote address.
The majority of our people were not really actively participating in the economy. So there was an issue that what do you do with the majority of the people who are helpless, unemployed, unemployable, with no prospect, but we have brought about the new democracy that we all enjoy today. We hope and believe that majority of our people will see the light and begin to take the issue of industrialization much more seriously. Open factories for ordinary skilled and unskilled labor to work. Make real money that is sustainable. I think that's the essence of this particular policy regime. But we are told by our learned friends in South Africa, we're going to be mining all sorts of minerals for over 300 years. So we'll be here, all of us live in 5th or 6th generations. They will still be mining, so there's no crisis of the mineral resources in the country. But if we continue the same way as it has happened in the 19th century, we're not going to be able to realize economic transformation and growth that will result in job of the majority of our people. That's where we are. So hence this call that let's industrialize our economy, but let's be much more wiser and focus on the key things that will add value into these minerals so that they can do the magic that we are looking for, which is inclusive growth and jobs for the majority of our people. We must reindustrialize our economy, ensure that we grow a number of industrial assets and spread them across for the benefit of the majority, including those that will be in rural areas. It is very important that we do that. The state is now more than ready to give meaningful support to industries or industrialists who want to focus on beneficiation. So we equally, as we make this presentation, want to make this call to say there are certain things that our people do not need to study anymore. Let's create more courses, Prof, towards the productive sectors of the economy. This Black Industrialist program is a program for people who are thinking big. We want to put big public money. When we are criticized or called names, we want to be able to justify that we are reindustrializing our economy. So that's where we are about this particular program. We will support aspirant industrialists and give them the enabling environment, because business of government is not to run businesses. It's to create an enabling environment and come up with support measures, which is what I'm going to be speaking about, so that we can say, this is what we're doing as government, and the rest is left to yourself. In terms of the financing model that is being proposed, because the policy has not been approved, we're proposing that firstly we must consolidate the asset base of all the DFIs of government.
The oil and gas industry is full of promise, fantastically so. And a lot of people confuse the industry by the ways defined by the super major players, as they are called. The ExxonMobils, the Shells, the Sassels even. But there is a spectrum of scale of players in this industry that ranges from really the quite small, specialized, but good, to the super major, and a wide range in between. So when the minister talks about enterprising players who want to get into the industry with a $10 billion start, that's a big start. If you have that, your prospects of success are certainly improved because money is critically important in that game. But smarts, having the right skill sets, knowing how to make deals, knowing how to partner, and knowing how to play is really important. But what's really good as an African and a South African standing here, I can tell you we recently did work that reconfirmed the promise of this continent from two perspectives. One, this continent is super rich in hydrocarbons. It really is almost one of the last frontiers bar the Arctic and arguably Latin America. Africa is awash with hydrocarbons. The work that has been done on the West African coast so far does not touch the full potential. So we are excited as a company, and you as entrepreneurs should be excited as potential players in the space because the spectrum is that wide. So please, look at it, engage with the procurement guys, develop your plans, and see if there's not opportunity for some of you in that process. On the gas to power side, that's the real excitement, and I'm going to spend much more of my talk around that issue in about a minute. Gas exploration, we will explore more in Mozambique. Mozambique to us is closely tied to our fortunes in South Africa. As you know, some 10 years ago now, Sasol was in a position to offer a market for gas to the Mozambicans. Therefore, the Pandi and Tamani gas fields could be developed after decades of sitting idle, post-discovery. That gas has become an integral part of our long-term future, and it adds value in South Africa because not only do we consume gas for our own purposes in Sasol, but we have developed a third-party market as a consequence of being able to bring in relatively large volumes of gas. We as Sasol are very keen to get into gas to power. LNG, per definition, will be coastal. So I will tell you that there will be opportunities for that level of industrial activity that comes from LNG. So in short, and in conclusion, electricity is going to be the anchor. There will be opportunities in the industrial applications, similarly in commercial applications for restaurants, hotels, and so forth within a certain economic radius from LNG. Residential, I believe, will be a little bit more challenged because of the space heating issue that I mentioned. But it might be in concentrated areas what works. And ultimately, as we also evolve our transportation economy, CNG into transportation in cities to improve general air quality is not out of scope.
We are not competing with the world in Europe or in Malaysia. We are competing with it here. They are here. The products are here. We can import it here. And what often happens is, and I want to differ in some instances with the Minister, the international competitors are often tendering in South Africa at prices lower than the material content of the products that are manufactured in South Africa. There are dynamic forces that are creating uncertainties in the manufacturing sector that we have to arrest in one or other way. And a lot of them, unfortunately, are medium to long-term solutions and not short-term solutions. So if we, in the short term, can maintain what we have, I think we would do quite well.